Oh, I see. I see. You on your ratatouille kick. You on your T-bone. You on your T-bone. Yo. How we doing? We back up in this thing again. That's right. We doing good. Let it be known. Definitely let it be known. We back up in this thing again. You already know who it is. You already know what it is. Episode 19. My goodness, of the ShiftMakers podcast. I am your host, El the Designer. Co-hosting along with me, we got another very, very special man, very, with 4 more varies behind it. Special guest today. We got my brother back up in here today. We got the co-founder of Color Command Creative Studio back up in here today. My brother Akari. How you doing, bro? How you doing, Akari?
Pretty good. How's everybody doing? How you doing, people in the corner, people in the back, people in the front?
I like that, bro. I like how you checking the room, dog. You making sure everybody all right. You passing out waters to everybody in the corner. Because if you just make... Yeah, bro. If you just making sure like the little bit of people thirsty, then that's when you're going to have some problems in the party, you dig? So just make sure you passing out waters to everybody.
Right. You got to read the room.
There you go. Well, how you doing, bro?
I'm cool. A little bit sore from a good workout, but other than that, I'm straight. How about you?
Man, I've been good, dog. I've been working. I've been keeping things busy. I've been trying to build my financial situation up a little bit, which I'm sure a lot of us doing.
Amen.
But just been trying to, get things together for the most part. And I never, I don't think I ever asked you this, bro. Is it cool if I just call you Ace on here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I know my audience don't necessarily know your, what we call you and shit. So I just wanted to make sure it was all right that I, call you that.
Nah, it's cool. That's my stage name, apparently.
Well, there you go. Well, since we got Ace up in here, let me ask you, bro. You know what our topic gonna be, but of course our audience don't. So let me just keep them on game. Today, we got a special topic for y'all. And we gonna really be just doing a little 2-parter on fast food, junk food, and drugs. And basically kind of, how that correlates towards us as a people. And by us, I'm kind of referring to the Black community. And of course, just us all together and how that type of, those type of food products just kind of intertwine within our culture. So how you feel about that, dog?
I mean, it's definitely an interesting topic to discuss that a lot of people should be more aware of.
But they not. I mean, shit, I barely am. So, I mean, I ain't gonna judge. I ain't gonna pass judgment, you hear me?
I mean, true. And we do. Some people still know about it and still go get fast food.
Well, if you're ready to hop into it, let's jump into it, bro.
All right.
So, before we start things off, I know last time we kind of left off at, just talking about how fast food, junk food can be a little bit addictive, just kind of like drugs. And of course, like the type of habits people can develop while, of course, consuming fast food. And consuming junk food. By junk food, we talking about, hell, it could be your Kool-Aid. It could be whatever you drink. It could be, of course, candy, all that type of shit. And fast food is pretty self-explanatory. Right. And I'm pretty sure drugs is pretty self-explanatory.
Right.
So we left off, making that little comparison. And I kind of wanted to pick it back up, talking a little bit about, say, the short-term effects of fast food and junk food, and just how those short-term effects can, of course, affect us when we consistently consume these things. So to help us out today, I actually got a reading coming from markermedium.com, and of course I'm gonna give you a little credit in the show notes. And it's just going to be, of course, just giving us a little bit of a background on the short-term effects of junk food. So, let me get my little reading voice on, you dig? It's human nature to think about benefits and risk over the short term rather than considering the impact of our choices have over the long term. So, how does consumption of junk food affect your body over the short term? A few days of junk food. Just a few days of junk food could change your metabolism. A small study of 12 healthy young men found eating junk food for just 5 days led to a reduced ability to their muscles to turn glucose into energy, even though they didn't eat more calories as part of the study. So, same amount of calorie intake, but just more junk food. Over the long term, this change could lead to insulin resistance and eventually type 2 diabetes. So, you know. Another effect of just a couple of days of junk food is poor digestion. Just because junk food lacks fiber, eating too much of it could lead to constipation. So, short-term effects right in your face. Poor digestion, of course, poor metabolism, because as they just mentioned, your muscles have reduced ability to turn that glucose into energy, which is, of course, what happens when your muscles burn fat, basically. So, I mean, how you feel about that, bro? How you feel about the short-term effects? You feel like they getting it right?
Yeah, they conducted a study on it. I mean, can't be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's.
Feel like they're missing anything?
Oh, I'm pretty sure they're missing a lot of things. They can go way more in depth, but short-term effects that junk food, fast food can provide to, not provide, but could impact people with. I don't know. So I do agree completely 100% with the, metabolism slowing down, which leads to obesity, of course. But then diet also can affect mood. It can affect how you feel mentally, headaches. Acid reflux, which is a terrible thing, especially trying to sleep at night.
That's poor digestion too, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't have no damn. Look, I'm in my 20s, bro. I ain't got no damn acid reflux, y'all. But I have heard, of course, of everything that they just mentioned, like you just said, the poor metabolism, the acid reflux, the even the type 2 diabetes. A few people in my family have that. So, you know, I am aware of. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's pretty much you. I won't say you can't get rid of it, but it's something that stays for a very long time, for sure.
That's true.
Yeah, bro, like I do have to agree with you. I do feel like the short-term effects go a little bit further than, of course, just the diabetes, what it does to your muscles, what it does to your metabolism, what it does to, of course, your digestion. I do feel like over the short term, it does have a noticeable effect on your mentality too. Just your mental, like, you're not going to have enough energy for the next day. Hell, you may not have enough energy for the next 5 hours.
Right. And it's not even just energy at that point. It's, again, mood swings, self-confidence. Right. Let's see. If your face start breaking out, that can lessen your self-confidence. And your self-confidence is already bad because these chemicals within these foods are already messing up the chemicals within your brain. There's a lot of possibilities that can really mess you up, for sure.
And I mean, what are some of the places we referring to, just to give, of course, we ain't trying to just talk about every food place, because, of course, certain restaurants maybe not necessarily exactly what we're talking about. But what give me a list.
I mean, my mind goes to the top brands. Like, I heard Subway's bread has a lot of sugar in it. McDonald's, obviously, right, that not a lot of people eat at all. And especially with the pink slime that we seen back in 2010, 2011.
Oh, you talking about the nuggets?
Yeah.
Man, the people don't care about. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know them people don't care about that shit, bro. You know they don't care about that shit, dog.
Yeah.
The pink slime? You talking about the nugget, bro? I just saw somebody get like, shit, 220 pieces? 320 pieces?
Oh, God.
Even though I had me a nice little McDouble, you heard me? I ain't gonna... I mean, it probably, it wasn't that long ago.
Wow. Bro, I haven't had McDonald's in a long time.
How long it been for you?
A long time. Like, I can't remember. The only thing
How long
I'll
it been,
probably get
if you had to
McDonald's
guess?
Let's see, I moved out here. It was before I moved out here. I can honestly say like 2 years, a year, 1 or 2 years.
See, bro, them fries, bro. Them fries, homie.
Bro, every place has fries. With salt.
Nah. See, you didn't hear me. You didn't hear me well. Hit me well this time.
Yeah, okay.
Them fries. Them fries. Not they, but them. I'm talking about somebody in particular.
McDonald's.
Yeah, them joints. Them joints something different.
Nah, bro, they all taste the same.
I don't know, cuz. But honestly, though, I am, bro, to say it been 2 years since you had something from McDonald's, that's actually pretty fucking good. I ain't gonna lie. Like, do you not eat too much fast food at all anymore?
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. Once I discovered DoorDash, my cooking habits have dwindled. But...
just McDonald's in particular?
Mainly the more commercialized fast food joints. So I would say McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Subway, Sonic, all of these places. And especially since I work in the food industry now, I'm looking to eat more of a, I don't want to say fine dining, but you get it like not fast food, but like.
Oh, I see. You on your ratatouille kick. You on your T-bone. You on your T-bone. You hear me? Yeah, I see what you doing, bro. All right. Hey, I'm proud of you, dog. Like, hey, son, that's you really upgrading in life, huh? So you said you left Subway for a T-bone.
Hold on.
And a New York.
First of all, it's not an upgrade if a rat is cooking your food in the kitchen. That's quite the downgrade.
I mean, if you saw how that rat was giving it up, bro.
No, man.
If you saw how that little nigga was giving it up on top of that boy head.
I would gladly give me a quarter pounder with cheese after that.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. If you saw how much of a fool he was acting, I wouldn't have turned down too much from him too. But back to our topic, like we were just mentioning, of course, the long-term effects of fast food. Because I do have to admit, bro, it's pretty admirable. Am I saying that right? Admirable?
Yes.
That you have I'll say cut a lot of the major fast food places out of your diet. I'm definitely getting there. I'll say that. I don't really go to a lot of the commercialized places either, but McDonald's is a fave. I don't go there a lot though. But yeah. it's them fries go dumb, dog.
The main ones I do venture out to probably more like chicken joints. Like Raising Cane's, Chick-fil-A.
I mean, that's Chick-fil-A commercialized. What you talking about?
I just admitted that I go to those.
Oh, all right. No, I thought you were saying like it wasn't on the same level as McDonald's and them.
No, Chick-fil-A. If anything, Chick-fil-A is probably more popular than McDonald's.
Nah, I think they do. I think they actually do make more money. Like, you right on the money with that one. But just going back, of course, to the long-term effects that eating at, say, a Chick-fil-A may have on you. we have, of course, just our second reading. And this is just a contrast, of course, all of those different things that we were just talking about regarding the short-term effects. So long-term effects of eating junk food. Eating a poor quality diet high in junk food is linked to a higher risk of obesity, depression, digestive issues, heart disease, and stroke. Type 2, God damn. All right. So you got a whole pair. I thought the sentence was about to end just now. That thing just keep going. All right, hold on. Let me redo that one. Eating a poor quality diet high in junk food is linked to a higher risk of obesity, depression, digestive issues, heart disease and stroke, type 2 diabetes, cancer, and early death. Just to top it all off. Just to top it all off, of course. And as you might expect, frequency matters when it comes to the impact of junk food on your health. So, if you think grocery stores are playing tricks on you, they really, really, really are. And that's, of course, within the reading. I ain't make that up myself. A review of studies on fast food and heart health found having fast food more than once a week was linked to a higher risk of obesity, while eating fast food more than twice a week was associated with a higher risk of metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, and death from coronary heart disease. So, of course, eating it once a week, basically from what we just read, is pretty damn bad. But eating it twice is even worse.
Wow!
Shocker. And basically, we learn there are some pretty bad and damning effects from eating fast food on a long-term scale. How you feel about that, dog?
I mean, I feel the same. I already knew it. We know the risk, and yet we still take it.
And this is just the last little sentence of this reading. This is disturbing considering nearly half of American adults eat fast food at least once a week. And that is actually pretty wild because I didn't know that shit. Half of us out here in America eat fast food at least once a week. So we just learned the damaging effects of eating fast food at least once a week. And more than half of us do it. So, damn. Well, nearly half of us do it.
I have a question, though.
What?
So being that we are now in a more social media society, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everybody showing an image of them eating healthy, cooking, things like that. You don't feel like that number's going to dwindle within the next few years?
On the contrary, I actually think it's going to go up. The reason it's going to go up is just because of what you just said. There's DoorDash now. There's Uber Eats now. There's everything making it more convenient for people to eat fast food. Not only that, but technology in itself is just making things more convenient. So if you go to a fast food place, they're now literally having machines now help make your food. When you go inside the dining area, there's literally kiosks that you can order the food on your own. And I know this because I work for a company that help install those kiosks. And they literally, like, there's newer ideas already coming down the pipeline to put more technology into places to make things easier for people to order and deliver fast food. So, yeah, it's actually very interesting that you say that, bro. Because honestly, I think it's going to get even worse, low key. I mean, we may have more vegans, but even then, I feel like even some of that food isn't the best. Like, I feel like it's probably even some of that food is even worse than eating fast food because some of that food is completely fake food.
I mean, to help your point on that statement there, even if we go to, well, like I said earlier, I work in a restaurant, fine dining. And we pull in, processed foods that we just cook and serve. So who's to say that anything we eat is really healthy unless you grow it yourself?
Oh, well, yeah, that is 1,000% true. And which is why every one of us need a farm. We all need to learn how to grow some shit one day because
we need
the way
land
things
first.
Looking. I don't know, bro, because honestly, you could farm without land. Like, that's something I'm learning. Shout out Duke, bro, because Duke Duke been teaching me a lot of shit about farming over the last year now. Cause that man Duke, I be checking out his Instagram and shit, and that man be farming in his backyard, and his friend man be grabbing tires and really like putting in work, dead ass. But of course, you can't bust out the foam in an apartment or nothing. So I'm definitely gonna have to upgrade my situation before I bust out one of them. But yeah, I think it's something we all kind of could do. Now, over time, we would require land if we trying to really grow our grains and grow our all this other shit and maybe get a few cows or whatever. But, yeah, something like I feel like it's something we all really should try to do. What you think?
Definitely. Like I said, we need the land first. So who's to say, we're going to get the land, especially us colored people. One, because not to be the guy, but 40 acres and a mule is running through my head right now.
Well, I mean, the 40 acres and the mule is definitely something I guess we was promised, but it ain't happened yet. And I don't even know why I threw yet in there. Instead of just leaving it at it ain't happened. Honestly, I do agree with you. It is going to require a nice bit amount of income. It's going to require a nice bit amount of financial stability, which is going to require a nice bit amount of support, which is first going to require giving off a little bit of value and then getting it back. And that's, of course, exactly what we asked for at the ShiftMakers podcast. Of course, me and my brother Ace, we trying to get some farmland. And if y'all definitely do see this podcast, this show, this episode 19 as something valuable, then of course, consider leaving a donation. We definitely do have a PayPal link. We definitely do have our Venmo linked in the show notes in the link tree. And guess what, baby? We got a Cash App now. So if y'all want to leave donations via Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, check out the show notes. Check out the link tree. You can do that also. And as I mentioned, just consider all of the value that you got from the show, from all of the episodes previously, and just consider leaving it back. And we definitely do thank you for that. And moving forward, as you just mentioned, of course, back to our main topic regarding just these fast food places and the impact that it has on us. I definitely do agree with you regarding what we trying to do, say, when it comes to getting farmland and the finances that is required. But I want to ask you this. Do you feel like these people target, say, a certain group of people? Say these fast food chains?
At first, yes. But honestly, now, I just think whoever's willing to spend $1 to eat there, I mean, it is what it is at that point.
So you don't think they targeting us anymore?
Anymore? No.
So you think they used to target us as far as
definitely used to target us. I think they just probably targeting us differently and with different methods and tactics. But as far as fast food, it really doesn't matter who's coming in there. As long as we get enough money and people are willing to eat here, we're good to go.
It's actually funny that you say that because I was so ready to disagree with your ass. And then I thought about what you said. And you know what, bro? I ain't gonna lie. You might just be right. And
because think about how many... I'm cutting you off. My bad. I know I'm cutting you off.
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
But I don't know who I had this conversation with, but I think it was Professor University, and he said, they say black people love chicken, but every time I go to Popeyes, I see nothing but white people.
It sounds like them too.
So, I mean, at that point, it's really not about what race is eating here. I mean, it might help via marketing, like, hey, this race is eating this place more. Let's approach them. But honestly, at the end of the day, if you are a CEO, I don't think it really comes down to race, really just finances or income.
So I'll say this. you're right about that for sure. It definitely don't come down to race. It's more so about income when you're at the CEO level, because they directly report to board members, and the board members definitely want their money. So that's a fact. This is why I felt like I had to go a 180 and actually agree with you. So originally I was actually going to disagree with you, because immediately when I asked you that question, my mind went to Travis Scott. It went to Sweetie. It went to Megan Thee Stallion. Right. Travis Scott and Sweetie, of course, they McDonald's deals. Megan Thee Stallion, her Popeyes deals. And it seemed like everybody getting a deal now. And I asked you that, and I immediately thought of those things. So I'm like, well, shit, they got to be targeting us if they getting these rappers and these, these entertainers and stuff, yada, yada, yada. And then I thought about it. I'm like, wait, now hold on a second. These rappers and entertainers, they influence just isn't over black people in the black community. They also influence a lot of white kids, a lot of Hispanic kids, a lot of everybody, which is why they are who they are as far as being the top in music right now, because of the influence they have on everybody, goddamn kids.
There you go. Cash Me Outside, girl. People saying she was acting black. But, I mean, look at the people she probably watched.
That's very interesting. So, and you absolutely right on the money with that, with the cash. I'm about to say cash the money, girl. Cash Me Outside, girl. Like, she definitely now is tailored to that exact same audience, which she was a few years ago, just being that ignorant ass girl, basically. So, now that we at this moment, let me ask you this. Who do you feel has been the backbone of the fast food industry over the past few decades?
Backbone as in?
Just their main supporters. Who's been buying up the majority of their food? Since we talked about who they target, who do you feel has actually been buying up most of their food?
Are we talking race, age, gender?
We could go race, we could go gender, we could go age, however you want to take it. Hell, if you want to give me all three.
Truthfully, bro, working class, honestly. So I say working class because working class more than likely is going to have a family that they really have to support, and you working a 9 to 5, your kid get off at 4, you had a stressful day. Why not go to Popeyes and get a 10-piece family meal for $15 with some hot girl sauce or whatever it's called?
Oh, you talking about the Megan sauce?
Yeah, she probably go shoot me for saying it wrong, but
that's actually funny that you say that for a few reasons, but continue. Go ahead.
But I mean, yeah, I would say the working class, because I feel like what's above the working class? What's that called?
The rich, the wealthy.
Wealthy,
the 2%, 3%, whatever you want to call it.
That 3% sound ominous, but I'm gonna use that. The 3% are more than likely, going out or having chefs come in, things like that. Whereas the working class don't really have that luxury all of the time. So some days they're forced, after a stressful day, to just get something quick and easy. Little Caesars included, $5 pizza.
Hot and ready.
Hot and ready. I used to be a victim of that. Quick and easy, sit down, watch TV, enjoy life. The parents can rest, the kids can play, everybody has a good day. All right. So you basically saying,
So you basically saying the people who needs convenience, aka the working class. And I do have to agree with you. And I'll of course ask. Right. The people who need that quick fix. And I of course asked you that because I already know the answer. So I definitely do agree, like I mentioned. It is mostly the working class, but in particular, we learned from markermedium.com that the backbone, and now let me actually just pull up the exact reading. So in 1979, McDonald's ran a print ad aimed squarely at the African-American marketplace. The headline read, "Do your dinner timing at McDonald's." and let black customers know you don't have to get dressed up and there's no tipping. And basically, there you have it. That kind of a little bit kind of tells you who they were targeting, why they were targeting, and just the type of ad they were kind of pushing. And from there, of course, we learned that a lot of their base isn't just the black community, because as you mentioned, it's more so the working class. As you can, if you was to look at McDonald's profits and revenue numbers, I'm almost certain majority of their profits wouldn't necessarily be the black community. However, their most loyal community could possibly be that. So by loyal, I'm more so referring to if you have an inventory and you need to get that shit off, your loyal audience is going to be the audience that you automatically assume is going to buy that shit up. Then you have an audience who you may assume, which is maybe a lukewarm audience, which is, of course, something that you may assume could potentially buy it up, but maybe may need a little bit of advertising. Maybe may need a little bit of persuasion. And then you have a cold audience, people who, you know, just won't fuck with you at all, which is, of course, the aces of the world. People who eating ratatouille. People who eating baklava and all that shit. Yeah, it's basically those are the type of people, that cold audience, people who they won't even worry about. People who they definitely won't even worry about advertising to. So, which is why you won't see a rich family or a rich couple sitting at a McDonald's dinner table in an ad saying, "Pass me the sweet and sour sauce."
That's funny.
Yeah, you can't even picture that in your head right now. So, yeah, that's basically pretty. Well, for one thing, it's pretty shocking when you actually think about it, that McDonald's kind of in 1979 had to advertise to us like that, saying, "Do your dinner timing at McDonald's," and then basically said you don't have to get dressed up because, you know, black people. Why would black people have clothes? Why would black people have nice clothes? Come on now, we know. And then there's no tipping, because why would black people tip? Ain't no. Now you see how racist this shit is. This is just the way they think it. Why would black people tip? Black people don't fucking tip. Come on now, save your money. Y'all broke anyway. That's basically what they think of us. So.
Well, excuse me, big dog.
Yeah.
That's a wild commercial there.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how they did it, as far as just writing a copy, writing a text for their shit. Basically saying you don't have to get dressed up and there's no tipping and do your dinner time in here. So yeah, it's McDonald's, and that was in 1979. So just to update us a little bit, you know, give us a little bit more of an update. I wonder what McDonald's doing now. Well, not even now. Let's just go to the 90s. What was McDonald's doing in the 90s, say, to advertise to us, right? Us fellow black people. Let's see.
Lineups are on the floor.
Oh, and by the way, this is our first clip of the day. It's going to be a quick little McDonald's ad just showing us one of our very, very, very good friends and very, very, very good partners of the 90s.
Lineups are on the floor, and here comes Michael Jordan. Taking time out for breakfast at his regular place, McDonald's. Jordan finds the open man. He goes for two and takes possession of a delicious big breakfast and a hot Egg McMuffin. Jordan sets. He puts it up, and it's good. Jordan scrambles. He sinks it in again. Can he fit that Egg McMuffin in his game plan? Yes! Michael Jordan has carried it off.
There's still plenty of time on the clock.
And there you go. Getting people like Michael Jordan, getting people like Larry Bird. I'm sure they had Charles Barkley fat ass selling McDonald's to us too.
Wow.
I'm sorry. That was low hanging fruit. But basically, I'm sure they had a lot of different people that was influential in sports selling those different type of things to us, because those are the type of people that we looked up to in the 90s, especially before social media, before the iPhone, and a lot of different distractions. And even before rap kind of took over. Michael Jordan was that nigga. Let's all be, I mean, come on now. Do I need to go for it? Yo, we seen Space Jam. We seen the stretched out arm. We seen it. I seen it. So, just now seeing, and of course not now, but back then in the 90s, seeing Michael Jordan getting him some nuggets and trying to sell McDonald's nuggets to us and shit. And what they said, a quarter pound of Big Mac, whatever it was and shit. It just goes to show you, damn, for $1 for a check, for that check.
If the number's right, we gonna take flight.
And I'm sure.
That's a good. Go ahead.
I was just about to finish it off like this. I'm sure Michael Jordan himself wasn't eating McDonald's while he was, winning 6 championships and going to 6 straight finals. I'm sure he wasn't eating McDonald's every other day, but I digress here, man.
I don't know. I actually seen a clip one time of an athlete eating. It was on Joe Rogan podcast. The athlete was eating some burger. I feel like I said this on the very first podcast. Either way, Joe Rogan made an argument like, dude, if you work out hard enough, you eat whatever the hell you want. So do you think it's worth still eating these fast food and junk foods but putting in the work to keep your body healthy at the same time, i.e. exercise or countering with fruits, vegetables, nutrients, yada, yada, yada?
Well, that's a really good question. But the thing is, we learn, yes, it's worth it if you're trying to combat the short-term effects, right? So if you recall back to the short-term effects we was bringing up, yeah, you can definitely combat those things by bringing in a contrast. So bringing in, like you said, a steady diet of whatever it may be. If it's fruits, if it's vegetables, if it's anything fiber-wise, of course, to help with the digestion. If it's, of course, a steady diet of consistent exercise to combat those things, that's definitely helpful to, like I said, the short term. But the long term, you still will have certain things ailing you if you continue to consume those things over once or twice a week, regardless if or whatever you're doing to combat it. And that's solely just because of the type of food that, is in a lot of this shit. Like, the food is so poisonous. Is like, and just to go back to what you were saying, right? Subway was pitched to us in advertising as a healthy alternative, right? Yeah. Healthy alternative. You literally giving people 12 inches of bread. Let's just start there. Before we even go any further, son. Let's just start at giving someone 12 inches of bread. All right. And that's even if you're giving whole grain, 12 inches of bread is absolutely insane to eat at one time. And that's just, and by insane, I mean, like, it's not healthy. Let's just be honest. It's not, because of the amount of sugar in it. Not only that, but the amount of starches in it that can literally reduce the fiber intake that you need to digest that. So just bread wise, before we even get on to the meats, not even knowing if it's real meat or not, because we heard about Subway tuna, right?
Yeah.
And they were basically saying that isn't real tuna. And then, of course,
I never had it.
I don't even eat seafood, so yeah. And then, of course, you got the types of cheeses that they put on there, not even knowing if it's real cheese. I was so shocked when somebody, and this is a side note, I was so shocked when somebody told me American cheese ain't real cheese, because I was eating American cheese damn near my whole life. And it's like, yeah, American cheese ain't even real cheese. That's why they call it American cheese, because they knew that if you was to call it anything else, you can kind of get sued. So that's where American cheese came from. That's where the name came from. Basically pasteurized fake cheese.
And to be honest with you, I only try to eat dairy like that. The most I do is ice cream or a smoothie from Smoothie King. That's about it. I might eat a pizza. No, I will eat a pizza. But cheese, out my diet.
Yeah, I'm about to say, bro, you already know I'm almond milk king over here. I'm the king of almond milk, dog, so yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Either way, it's better than the real one. Better than the real one to me.
Right.
But
that's another discussion that needs to be had. This dairy consumption us Americans be having.
Right, and that's all part of junk food to me, honestly. Like, dairy consumption is a part of junk food to me. I'm at that point where we need to really see a lie for a lie, bro. Them damn got milk ads was a damn lie. That's what it was, bro. Because, bro, dairy, for the most part, doesn't do anybody any good in the long term. Of course, you have calcium and vitamin D. You have calcium, right? And you have calcium and vitamin D, but there's so many different ways you can get calcium and vitamin D, bro. I didn't even know you could get vitamin D from mushrooms and shit. Like, fam, you could get vitamin D and calcium from so many different things. Don't have to get it from milk. Just take vitamins if you worried. Actually, I'll include a link in the description to a place y'all can get some amazing vitamins and some amazing supplements, and just if anybody just trying to change up their diet, like I know a store that can kind of help with that. So, and they have some really good products. Me and my wife use them all the time. That's a side note though. I'll put it in the description. Basically, all I'm saying is, bro, like the types of shit that they putting into these different type of things, it definitely can be classified as junk food. And again, going back to that Subway example, they kind of know what they're doing. Even when they're advertising something as a healthy alternative, they know what they're doing. This stuff isn't really that healthy. It really is wild, the type of portions that they're giving out for a cheap price to make it addictive. Going back to our first episodes, again, we know what drug dealers do. Again, you can bring in now the drug conversation, just thinking, damn, what are these people really? What are these fast food and junk food corporations really? And that kind of got me to my next question I want to ask you. Basically, how are these people treated? How are these people viewed? And not necessarily the fast food corporations, but more so the workers. How are they treated? How are they viewed?
Meaning like the hamburger flippers,
fried cooks, drive-through, cashier.
Oh, they treat it like crap every now and again. Not to mention they hate their job 90% of the time, 99% of the time.
And I agree. Absolutely. I used to be one. I used to work at Burger King, and I used to hate that shit. This is, of course, when I was 16 years old, so this was some years ago. But Lord have mercy that I hate that shit. And it was probably, to this day, the toughest job I ever had. And I didn't had so many jobs since then. And it bring me to this specific reading. And it's just more so just talking about that. So it's basically telling us organizations promoting and parroting these opportunities. It's not like today where the fast food industry is older with more women and parents, where minimum wage isn't a living wage. But it was still public money being spent on behalf of a corporation that took the bulk of the profits out of African American communities. Employees has never been given comprehensive benefits, and the fast food industry has helped normalize the lack of concern for workers. And that's kind of why I wanted to ask that, because as we can tell, these people isn't really getting a fair due, of course, on the money side of things or on the benefit side of things. But when people and customers come in, they giving them a hard time. They being assholes. They being, I mean, we know how this shit is. We know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
And it comes to a point where it's like, damn, not only is they trying to replace these people that's working there, because, you know, like I told y'all in the beginning with the kiosk and all this new technology they bringing in, but they being assholes to them. They not paying them a minimum wage. Like they said, most of them are older people, more women and parents now. And also, it's just a flat out lack of concern. So it's just like, damn, you know, not only is y'all poisoning y'all customers, but y'all workers themselves. Like, shit, just look at them. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that leads me to my last point and my last kind of major thing on this. The effects on the black economy that these places kind of have. So I'm going to kind of go through this. It's a few different little readings I just want to bring up. But I do want to just put this in y'all psyche before we finish things off. And I'm going to just kind of read this a little bit faster than normal. So here we go. First thing is just this question. Did McDonald's displace a lot of established local spots? And they're going to be taking us back to the 1970s. As you get into the 1970s, operating costs in the business districts of places like Detroit, Chicago, and Los Angeles continued to rise, and there were the oil embargoes and recessions, so a lot of mom and pop places were on shaky footing. Of course, they talking about the local economy. Back in the 1970s, different type of things was affecting the economy. So as the overall economy is affected, of course, the local economy is affected, which means the mom and pop places are affected. The operating of McDonald's franchises wasn't on the sole reason, but the local establishments also didn't have that built-in efficiency or money to stay afloat like the corporations and fast food did. So back in the 70s and 80s, of course, when the economy was kind of going through a little rough patch, that's when a lot of these fast food places was kind of thriving because they kind of had the infrastructure. And they also had a little bit of, franchises already kind of established to thrive through a dry spell of the economy. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's how they was kind of able to start booming. And, just kind of take the little advantage of basically large business versus small business. That's how large businesses was kind of able to boom in this fast food place. So we're going to fast forward a little bit to 1972. In New Orleans, there was this businessman named L. Copeland. He fashioned himself as a man of the people. And Popeyes had a long and positive connection and connotation with African Americans. It's still the inauthentic branding. People often assume Popeyes is a black-owned company. But as of course we know, it's owned by Mr. L. Copeland, a white man, my friends. And franchising was basically a huge part of the world of black capitalism because black owners didn't see any other alternative. So once Mr. L. Copeland started basically producing more Popeyes, we had black owners now purchasing those Popeyes. So now you have black owners owning some of those Popeyes, owning some of those McDonald's, but they didn't establish them from the jump because, of course, like I was mentioning in the 70s, 60s, they already kind of had that infrastructure. So black people just kind of had to fit in where they kind of could fit in. At least the rich black people who wanted to own some shit. So that's why they started buying these franchises, which is why you see what we have now. These black people, well, a lot of black people owning some of these franchises instead of their own little places and marketing to the exact same people who look like them, further poisoning them, and they're hiring the exact same people who look like them, giving them a hard time. So what you think?
That's a good question. Let me think on that. One, you can't knock the hustle. But morally, that's not really a great thing, obviously. I will also say they probably have the same knowledge we do now about all the effects of fast food.
Right.
And things like that, of that nature. And for some reason, the example of American Gangster just come back to my head, how, whatever his name was, I think it was like Frank something.
I mean, there is some American gangsters, though, these people. L. Copeland, a man named he sound like a gangster, L. Copeland. Of course, the owner of Copeland.
Low key, that's true. But in the movie, Black Man was one of the top drug dealers in Harlem, I think. And he used to push the weight to his own people.
Absolutely.
Now, his hustle got him a lot of success and money, but morally, again, it's not the best solution.
Yep. And it's just poison. It's pushing poison for profit. And when you know that, and I mean, again, like you said, you can't out the hustle. Everybody, got their own little means and ideas of how to live their life and how they want to live their life and the type of things they want in life and how to get it. But at the end of the day, if you ruining generations down the line, is it really, really worth it? And that's kind of why I want us to really consider what we putting into our bodies, because we gonna have kids eventually. I know I'm gonna have kids eventually. You gonna have kids probably eventually, right, bro?
Hey, I hope so, yeah.
All right. Well, no, I know that it's a popular thing nowadays. I don't want to have no damn kids. Ain't there a problem? All that bullshit people be saying. But we gonna have kids eventually, and it's gonna become a choice for us when our kids say, "Hey, we want McDonald's, or we want Burger King, or we want Chick-fil-A." what are we going to say? And I'm not saying, of course, you know, it's going to be very difficult to always deny that. But if we are making a comparison to, say, fast food, junk food being similar to drugs, then do we really want to give them that first feeling? Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Do we really want to get them used to that feeling, to that taste, to that whatever it may be? And that's really a question we all got to ask ourselves. And it all really go back to who we choose to support, really. That's really what it comes down to, because if you choose to support a local mom and pop shop with your family that you just starting, then 9 times out of 10, that's what they're going to do. So that's really what it's about, bro.
What would you do, honestly? Your answer, real quick.
I think I would probably go about the business of trying my hardest to not get them to eating fast food. So, you know, I know it's gonna take a lot of discipline. It's gonna take a lot of saying no and shit, but I really do want to not get them on that, bro, honestly, because I do feel like once you used to it, it's damn near like a drug. It's so hard to not want to eat that shit, especially if it's convenient, especially if it's cheap, especially if it's right in your face.
Right.
But we all hope, we all pray that when that time comes, our kids make things a little bit easier on us. And again, it really has a lot to do with what you choose to support and what you choose to see value in. So if you choose to see value in McDonald's, if you choose to see value in Burger King, Chick-fil-A, then that's what you're going to likely support. Or if you choose to see value in your local mom and pop shop or your local restaurant or the grocery store in your own 2 hands, then that's likely what you're going to support, and more so likely leading to a healthier lifestyle. And of course, if you choose to see value in the ShiftMakers podcast, then you should definitely support that, you heard me? You should definitely consider the value you got from this show and just think about how you're going to leave it back. Of course, you know, you can actually listen all the way through. That's definitely valuable to us. Of course, you could tell somebody about what you heard, leave a review, leave a like. Definitely valuable to us. Sharing on your social medias, on your Twitter, on your Instagram, hell, even your Facebook, whatever it may be. That's valuable to us. And you already know, leaving a donation, baby, that, my friends, is extremely valuable to us. Any donation you want to give, it's definitely useful, definitely helpful, helps out with the cost of the show, helps out, of course, with me and Ace buying that farmland, you heard me? We got the Venmo, got the Cash App, and got the PayPal linked in the description, so consider all of the value you got from this show and just consider leaving it back. We definitely do appreciate you listening all the way through. We appreciate your time, we appreciate your talent, and we appreciate the treasure you're going to give. I am your host, Elder Designer, checking in live, baby, checking in live from Color Command Creative Studio out here in Atlanta, Georgia. Co-hosting along with me, we got my very good brother, Ace. You supposed to say something?
Something.
And there you go. And as you know, episode 19 of the ShiftMakers podcast.